and they're considering what they see out there. What do you think? Do you feel that the president is doing a good job at his own message here? You heard what he just said about how he thinks Democrats stick together, and he's trying to pull his side of the party together. And he, has been doing a lot of press appearances, like we saw today, having the cameras come in, a lot of rallies. Is he doing the right thing to sort of affect public opinion in the way he wants to here?
Well, I think you have to look at this as a president who wasn't a politician, who beat 17 other Republicans, or whatever the number was. There were a lot of hard feelings. There were a lot of people in the mainstream media and even conservative writers and hosts that have never accepted that a businessman got elected president. I don't think he's ever going to fully get over that hurdle, because he's just not one of the guys who have been in Washington forever. Now, look, there's a lot of things that happened last week, but the thing that is most important that people aren't paying attention to, the whistleblower is now gone, right? Nobody wants to hear from the whistleblower. The Democrats don't want to hear from the whistleblower. Well, wait a second. I thought the whistleblower was the person who had the evidence. So that's no longer there. We had Ambassador Volker and we had Ambassador Sondland last week. No evidence there that they were involved in this supposed conspiracy. So the facts aren't adding up for the Democrats. Right now, they can be on an impeachment high, that I like to call it, because all the mainstream media is just throwing gasoline on this fire. But eventually the truth comes out. And right now, there's a lot of hearsay. There's no transcripts. There's an unprecedented secrecy.
So, let me ask you something about that, because, you listen to, Steve Bannon, one person over the weekend said, this is going to happen quickly. It's going to happen over the next 6 weeks in the House, and there will be an impeachment. So is this going to sort of get, rammed through without anybody ever seeing the transcripts that you're talking about, or ever being able to see the evidence on their own? Or are we going to get to a moment in this where there's a vote in the House and you see some of these people testify in an open way so that the American people can watch this process for themselves and make up their mind?
I don't think they can. There's
Never
not enough time. There's not enough time for the Democrats to do that. The Democrats don't want to do that. And remember what I've said. They've got themselves between a rock and a hard place. They poisoned the American people on Russia. Then they said Mueller was going to really deliver the goods. He didn't. Then they said they were going to continue the Russia investigation. That didn't work out. And now they came up with this Ukrainian hoax that appears to be nothing but a hoax. And all the main witnesses that have come in so far aren't bearing out the facts as they've been presented by this whistleblower, who now we can't interview anymore.
Well, I think there's going to be an enormous amount of frustration on the part of a lot of Americans who are open-minded on this issue and want to hear what's going on and want to see the evidence. And I think that if it gets pushed through in that way, it could backfire in a big way politically for Democrats if they don't have that transparency on their side and they can't say, look, we laid it all out for you and we're your representatives, and here, let us know what you think.
I really hope you're right. I really hope you're right. But more so, at the end of the day here, if there is impeachment, this goes to the Senate, where there is going to be a public trial. So, they really are playing with fire here.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is it your feeling that it's going that way?